Hey there, Alan Matthews here from Classical Guitar Shed. Just a quick one today, just a couple minutes. And I'd like to address something that's kind of taken for granted in the guitar world. If you ask most guitarists, kind of rule number one on phrasing, and this isn't just guitar, this is a lot of things, strings, all kind of things. But that is, let's just accent the high note. If we have all these notes, well, let's just find the highest one. And that's the loudest one, and then we'll just phrase up to that and then down away from it. And so what I'd like to propose today is that it's actually way more effective to do exactly the opposite. Now, before you get all up in arms about this crazy notion of mine, let me just say that it's actually not my notion. This was pointed out to me by my coach, Mark Westcott, concert pianist. And from doing this, what the benefit is that it creates a much longer line, that from the very first note of the piece to the last note of the piece can be a much more continuous journey, whereas whenever we have in a phrase, if we actually accent the high note, then it basically says we have reached the top, we have reached the pinnacle, check, we have done it, and everything else is just whatever, is just drivel. So we've actually stopped the action, and so we've stopped the attention of our listeners. We've given them a chance to think about something else, as opposed to actually doing the opposite, which is, here we have our notes going up and down. Instead, decrescendo up, crescendo down, and it actually drives the music forward way more effectively. I know this is crazy, and if you could try it in your playing, and if you don't like it, then by all means, don't do it. And nothing is for sure absolutely all the time and everything, but as a general rule, 99% of the time, this is really effective in my playing, and I've had a lot of comments on it. Let's look at a piece of music. So let's look at this. This is Lagrima. A lot of people play Lagrima. And so here we go. Da, 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 da. And so oftentimes what you hear is da, 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 da. But what that does is it creates a stop. Boom. We've just said something. It's a complete statement. And then I'm just going to say this other stuff which doesn't mean anything. And then I'm going to say the exact same thing again. Da, 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 da. And so this is not a very interesting way to play. Forgive me if this is the way that you play it. Try this instead, maybe. What if this phrase, if this was an upbeat to this, so we wanted this to go forward as much as possible. So then this is going to phrase all the way, let's choose a different color for this. This is going to phrase all the way from here, all the way to there. So then we actually don't accent this, pull back on this note, so that then we can crescendo down to this note right here. Da, 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 boom. And so now this is the big note, which can then sustain us all the way to here. And then if you haven't seen my video on the long short, I encourage you to do that. I'll put a link right here, actually. There's a link to the long short video. This would be a long short moment right here. This would be the long short. So that means that gets quiet to that note. And then dun, 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 pull back on this note. Just basically don't accent it. I'm not saying play it quietly. I'm just saying play it quieter than this note. And then this note could be louder to that. And especially this one, cream of the crop. Accenting this note right here really stops the action. So just like again, this is our long short, and then we crescendo down. Just like that for these notes here, can go forward. And this is completely beside the point because this video is not about Lagrima, but just to point out that this is, I think, a weird transcription because this should actually be this should be a dotted quarter note here, and these should be stems down notes here, a third line or something, but a dotted quarter, and then these pick it up from there. That would be the long short to there, and then those go. But then these would be accompaniment notes, and that would be the melody note with those three. But anyway, that doesn't have anything to do with this. So This is my plea to you to please reconsider accenting every high note in sight simply on the merit that it is higher than the other notes. It gives it some sort of superiority in your phrasing decisions. It seems like a kind of a silly idea to me, and that we should look at other things. So, hope you enjoyed this video. If you like, you are perfectly welcome to subscribe to this channel. And if you wanted to check the little box when it says you want to get email notifications, then you can do that, and then you'll get a little email saying Classical Guitar Shed uploaded a new video whenever I do. You can also watch these other ones, and thank you so much for watching. Take care.